Hello students, welcome to the lesson 21 of the chapter 3 from the subject Advanced Structural Analysis. Now, in this lesson, we'll solve a problem related to pin jointed frames, that is nothing but trusses, using the flexibility transformation approach. See, I have divided this problem into two parts, part 1 and part 2. Okay, in the next lesson, that's lesson number 22, I will be dealing with part 2. Okay, see, in between what will happen is because these problems are very lengthy, in between there will be a matrix which we have to find, that's the displacement transformation matrix, for which we have to use the method of joints to do the displacement transformation matrix. So that particular part, what I'll do is only that portion I'll be explaining you in the lesson number 22. Here what I'll do is directly write the answer for that, and how we get that I'll be dealing with in your lesson number 22. So it's just that your lesson number 21 and 22 are for the same problem. I have divided that problem into two parts. Okay, so let us see what's the problem given to us. So we are doing the truss problem using the flexibility transformation approach. Right. So now this is the problem given to us. We have to analyze the truss. Okay. So let's start. So your step 1 is to find your lengths and angles. So in this, what we have to do? We have to find lengths and angles of all members. Okay. So let's start one by one. Actually, in the question, there is one more part given which I have missed drawing here. So this is given as 4.5 meters and this is given as 3.6 meters. Okay, so AD and BC will be of what length? AD equal to BC will be equal to 3.6 meters. Then AB will be equal to CD will be equal to how much? 4.5 meters. And how about your diagonals AC and BD? Apply your Pythagoras theorem. So under root 3.6 square plus 4.5 square. So you need BD. So it will be what? AB square plus AD square. Okay. So if you apply and do the calculation, you will get 5.763 meters. Okay. Now along with that, this theta is required. So its tan theta is equal to opposite is 4.5 by 3.6. So if you do this, you get your theta value which will be equal to 51.34. So this will be 51.34. So 90 minus that will give you this value, which will be equal to how much? 38.6 degree. Okay, so if this is 51.36, this will be again 38. This will be Z angle. So based on that, you can do the calculation. Okay, now after this step 1 of finding lengths and angles, we also have to, in the same step, we also have to find what? Relative AE. Okay, what is relative AE? See, now here A value is given, E is constant for all the members. Okay, but we need to find relative A. What is relative A? In this case, what I'll do is, see, 30, 36, 20, 40. So what I'll do, I'll take 10 centimeter square as equal to A. Understood? So in that case, what will be the relative AE for this? You just have to divide this value by this 30 by 10. So what it will be? 3. This will be 3 AE. This is your relative AE. Understood? So that's how you have to calculate. So what you have to do? 25 divided by 10. So that will be what? 2.5 AE. Like this, you need to calculate the relative AE. Understood? So for this member, it will be what? 2.75 AE. Okay, here 2 AE. Here for this, that 3.6 AE, and for this it is 4AE. So these are your relative A's. So if you want, I'll do one thing, I'll write it here. So for AB it is 2AE, then BC 3AE, then CD 2.5 AE, then AD 2.75 AE, then AC is 4 AE, and your BD is 3.6 AE. You understood how to do it? This is what I have assumed. You can assume any value here. There's no problem, but you have to do it as relative. Okay. So once you get this, you have to move on to your step 2. So your step 2 is what? To find the static indeterminacy, degree of static determinacy. So in the prerequisites chapter, we already have dealt on how to find this. Okay. So I'll call it as SI. This will be equal to M plus R minus 2J. M is what? Number of members. How many members are there here? 6 plus R. R is what? Number of reactions. So hinge will have 2 reactions and the roller will have 1 reaction. So totally 3 minus 2 into J. Number of joints. 1, 2, 3, 4. D. This is not a joint. It's just that the diagonals are crossing each other here. So it's not a joint. So how many joints do you have? 4. So 9 minus 8. So 1. The degree of static indeterminacy is 1. That means what? You have one redundant structure. Okay. And this also is an internal indeterminacy. Externally, you can calculate the reactions. So externally, this is a determinate structure. Understood? So internally, it is a indeterminate structure. Okay. So now, once you're done with that, you need to, so you know now there's one redundant. Okay. So you need to now, in step 3, do what? Find your basic determinate structure. Okay. Basic determinate structure BDS. Okay. Also, we need to assign the direction to the assign direction to the redundant. Okay. So now what we can do is, see, to make the basic determinate structure, basically internal indeterminacy is 1. That means what? There is one extra member which you have. That member, if you remove, that's enough. So you can choose any member, but if you choose the external members like A, B, B, C, C, D, and D, A, that will cause some geometrical problem. Okay, you can remove AD. You can remove AD. It's possible, but removing A, B, B, C, and C, D might not form a stable structure. Or the best way is to remove the diagonal, any one diagonal. Either you remove AC or BD. The best way is to remove the diagonal. So 99% of the time, it's better you remove the diagonal unless and until the redundant. They will only tell you to choose. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll remove the BD, or I'll choose the BD as redundant. So what will be my basic determinate structure in that case? Okay. Now see, BD I am removing. So I have only AC. Right? A, B, C, D. Now if you see, this is a perfect frame, right? M is equal to 2J minus 3. M is equal to 2J minus 3. So M is what? 5. J are what? 4 minus 3. So 8 minus 3. So that's 5. I is equal to 5. That's it. That's why it's a perfect truss. Understood? So here it was becoming a redundant truss. Now, once you decided that BD is your redundant, you need to assign the direction to your redundant. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll take the redundant to be tension. Okay. Tension means what? The force will be away from the joint. So this is my redundant. I will call this redundant as 1. This only one force. Okay. So I have assumed it to be what? Away from joint. That means what? Tension positive. So this is how I have assigned the direction to my redundant, and the black one is my basic determinate structure. So once I am done with that, what is my next step? Next step is to find the element flexibility matrix. So this is step 1, step 2, step 3. Now I'm going with step 4. Okay. So in step 4, what will we do? We'll find the element flexibility matrix. So what's your element flexibility matrix? L by AE. Okay. Now we'll start one by one. First, FAB I'll calculate. What is the value of LAB? Small change. This you take it as B, and this you take it as D, because all my calculations are based on this. Okay. This is 4.5. This is 3.6. Here there will be no change. Coming to this point, this is AD. This is AB. This is BC. BD is correct. AC is correct. BC. Okay, small change because all my calculations are based on this. Here also when I showed you, um, this is your D, and this is your B. Okay, so now AB. Tell me FAB. L by AE. So for AB, what is the length? 3.6. So 3.6 by AE for AB is what? Relative AE. That's 2.75 AE. So how much you will get? 1.31 by AE. Like that you have to go on calculating. So FBC. So what's the BC? 4.5. Then BC relative is what? 2.5 AE. So this will come up to 1.8 AE. Then FCD, that's 3.6 by 3 AE. CD or DC, one and the same. Okay. So this will come up to 1.2 by AE. Then FBA, that's your 4.5 by 2 AE. That will give you 2.25 by AE. Then FAC, how much is this? 5.763 by 4 AE. 763 by 4 AE. So how much will it give? 1.44 by AE. And finally, FBD will be what? 5.763 by 3.6 AE. So this will give you 1.6 by AE. Okay, that's your step 4. Then moving on to step 5, you have to find the unassembled flexibility matrix. Okay, so for finding the unassembled flexibility matrix, it's very simple. You have to write those element flexibility matrix in the form of a diagonal. Okay, once if you write it in the form of diagonal, you will get the unassembled flexibility matrix. So 1 by A is common everywhere. I'll take it outside. So I have to write these in the diagonal. Okay. So starting with 1.31, 1.8, 1.2, 2.25, 1.44, and finally 1.6. Okay. So these all will be what? Zeros. And this will be symmetric here. This is your unassembled stiffness matrix. Okay, there are 6 members total, so this will be a 6 into 6 matrix. Order, you can take it in a way where however you want, you can take it, but you have to remember the order what you are taking. Okay, done. So once your element unassembled flexibility matrix is done, now we need to assign the direction to the W coordinate. So I'll do it here only. So that's what your step 6 is, what? To assign W coordinate. So how you will assign W coordinate? If there is any external load, you have to apply the W coordinate in the direction of your external load. It's as simple as that. So I'll do it here. Now this is my determinate structure, right? So we have it like this and like this. If you observe, there's only one external load, which is 10 kilonewton here, which is rightward at point D. So your W coordinate will be rightward like this, and this will be your W1. Understood? At D. Suppose there's some other load at C, there also you have to apply and call it as W2. Basically, wherever there are external loads, you need to apply your W coordinate. Okay. So that's how you assign your W coordinate. Moving further, the next step, that's your step number 7. Step 7 is to find the displacement transformation matrix. Okay, so your displacement transformation matrix B will be equal to Bx into Bw. So this is for the redundant and this is for the W coordinate. So we have one redundant, one W coordinate. But how many total members? 6 members. So this will be a 6 into 1 matrix and this will be also a 6 into 1 matrix. Totally you will have a different. So this is differently we have to form, this we have to form differently. This is taking into consideration the redundant. Okay, this is taking into consideration the W coordinate. Now, as I told you, this process I will be doing it in the next lesson, because what we have to do here is, see, this is important. What we have to do here is, where is your redundant? Redundant is at BD, right? So tension. So what you have to do, the redundant you have to assign as 1 and calculate the forces in all the members. Okay, so if you do that, you will get all the forces like this in order. Then for the BW, what you have to do, the W coordinate you have to take it as 1. Okay, you have to take W coordinate as 1 and find the forces in all the members. So basically you have to solve the method of joints twice, once taking X as 1, other time taking W as 1. If you do that, you will get your B matrix. That's nothing but your displacement transformation matrix. So I'm directly writing the values here. In the next lesson, I'll be telling you how to, showing you how to calculate that particular thing. Okay, so let's start one by one. 0.625 minus 0.781 minus 0.625 minus 0.781, 1 and 1. This is for W. This is nothing but Bx. Okay, coming here, when you take W1 equal to 1, so this is 0 minus 1 minus 1.2 5, 0, 1.6 and 0. Okay, so what is this? This is your BW. Understood? This is your Bx. So how to do it? We'll see in the next lesson. Now further we'll continue. Once you get your Bx, what you have to do? You have to find your F matrix. Step 8 is what? Find your F matrix. That's your global flexibility matrix, for which you have to use the formula F is equal to Bx transpose into small f into Bx. So what you have to do, basically first do these two and then with this answer multiply with Bx. Okay, so what is Bx transpose? So Bx is here, so minus 0.625 minus 0.781 minus 0.625 minus 0.781 1 and 1. This should be multiplied by your flexibility matrix. What is that? 1 point unassembled flexibility matrix. 1.3, 1.8, 1.2, 2.25, 1.44, 2.25, 1.44 and 1.6. All other values are zeros. Okay. So this is a 6 into 1 matrix. This is a 6 into 6 matrix. So these are same. So you will get a 1 into 6 matrix. So what is that 1 into 6 matrix you will get? So you will get minus 0.81875 minus 1.4058 minus 0.75 minus 1.757 1.44 and 1.6. Now this should be multiplied with your Bx. What's that? Minus 0.625 minus 0.781 minus 0.625 minus 0.781 1 and 1. Okay, so this is a 1 into 6 matrix. This is a 6 into 1 matrix. Here it's 6, here it's 6. So we'll get a 1 into 1 matrix. Okay, so what will be that F matrix? You'll get it is equal to 4.81125 by AE. Why AE? Here you have AE. Got to write it. Okay, see here. Okay, 1 by AE. This is your F matrix. That's your flexibility matrix. However many redundant are there, no, those many values will come. Okay. After that, what you have to do? You have to calculate FW. Now, why we have to do it? Further to calculate the redundant, we need it. Okay. So, what is FW? Formula FW is Bx transpose into F into BW. This is the change. So, already we have Bx transpose into F. What is that? This value. This is your Bx transpose into F. With that, you have to multiply what? BW. So this is your BW. So if you multiply again 1 into 6 matrix, 6 into 1 matrix, so you will get a 1 into 1 matrix, that's 4.81125 by A. This is what is your FW will be getting. Understood? So I have not done the substitution. You can do it. This multiplied by this value. Understood? So after that, what's the next step? Your next step, that's your step 10, is to find the redundant x. What is the formula? Minus F inverse into FW into W. So minus, what is F inverse? Where is F? This inverse means what? Write it in the reverse order. So because it's only one value, directly you can reverse it, right? Then FW is what? 4.81125 by AE. Did I write something? Yes. See, this value is once if you calculate this you will get equal to 6.49. This is 4.81125. Okay, so 6.49 into W. What is the value of W? 10. W is nothing but this load in the W coordinate what we have applied. Okay, so if you simplify this, you get the value of 7.413 with a minus sign. What does that mean? 7.413 kilonewton compression. This is our redundant, that is the force in the member BD. Understood? Very, very important. So this is how we can find the value of the redundant. Okay. Once we find the value of resultant, we can find all the member forces. Then how to do that? What's the next step for the formula? So let us write that as step 11. What we are doing here? Calculation of member and forces. So your PF will be equal to your Bx into x plus your Bw into W, right? So your Bx you already know, you calculated previously, minus 0.625 minus 0.781 minus 0.625 minus 0.781 1 and 1 into your x value is what? Minus 7.413, just now you have calculated, plus the BW is what? 0 minus 1.25 minus 1 0 1.6 and 0 into your W is what? 10 kilonewton. Right, if you simplify this, you will get your final forces. So what are the value? 4.633 minus 6.71 minus 5.367, 5.789, 8.587 minus 7.413. These are your values. Now which value belongs to which member depends upon how you have taken your flexibility matrix. Understood? In what order you have taken flexibility matrix, in the same order you will get your final forces. So what is the order you have taken? AB, then BC, then CD, then BA, then AC, and then BD. Okay, this is the order in which you have taken the forces. So what are the negative value means? They are in compression. Okay, what does the positive value mean? They are in tension. Okay, so plus is tension, minus is compression. Understood? So if you want to plot these values in the diagram. So what we got? This is your D. This is your B. 5.367, 6.71, 8.587, 7.413, 4.476, 5.789. Tension, tension, compression. Based on what answers I've got, just plotting the final end results. Okay, compression. This is what? Tension. Got it? So this is how you need to analyze the structure using the flexibility matrix method. Okay. If it was determinate structure or a perfect frame directly using the method of joints or method of sections you can do, but these are indeterminate structures, so you cannot do it using normal method of joints or method of sections. So you need to use either your stiffness approach or your flexibility approach. In your stiffness approach, you have transformation approach as well as direct stiffness approach. In flexibility, you have only transformation approach. Okay. In the next lesson, I'll tell you the part wherein we calculate how did we calculate this bx and bw. I'll be telling you. Okay.
Thank you.